We in the Workers' Party have consistently campaigned for the ending of academic selection and for the ending of segregation of our children on the grounds of their religion. The Coalition Executive at Stormont has failed to address either of these issues. This brief, which has been held by Sinn Féin 3 times, and 3 education ministers ago, Mr McInnes, made a decision to end academic selection, but it has not impacted on our schools. Because what happened, the grammar schools have simply designed their own tests and carried on selecting the children that they want. Even at this level, one test has been favoured by Catholic grammar schools and a different test for the rest. So even in academic selection, religious divide does remain prevalent. We in the Worker Party are calling and want to see an end of this educational apartheid and the creation of a single education authority charged with delivering an education system which is free from religious division and control, an education system which is fit for the 21st century. We need to plan for a comprehensive and integrated system at the 3 levels: primary, secondary level and tertiary. We need to equip current and future generations to develop and contribute as effective citizens. Comrades, education is a right and not a privilege, and all our schools and every school should be enabled to become a good school at the heart of our community. Thank you, comrades.
Comrades, and I like the word comrades because comradeship has come back into the party. Comrades, I want to highlight a friend of mine who is in a wheelchair about 24 hours a day, apart from when he's in bed, who drives a disabled vehicle which has been specially adapted for him. He can't walk. He's a poet. He has published 4 books of poetry. And when he applied for a blue card for parking facilities that are extended to the disabled, he was refused. And they wanted proof that he was disabled. And they didn't send anybody out even to look at him to see what his condition was. And I think that that's a disgrace. And the functions and facilities for disabled are not nearly as good as people think they are. And I want to highlight that. And while I'm on the feet, Chairman, I might just say that the only other thing that I wanted to speak about is in the education document what has to do with special needs. I know that I noticed in the health document that there's a big reference and a big section there on autism. But there are many other special needs children and adults who are not particularly well looked after either. The special schools and the classroom assistants do a marvellous job. I've seen it myself in schools that I've been in, and I know that I have a granddaughter who's Down syndrome, and she's particularly well looked after in the special school in Armagh and the units that are in ordinary schools as well. But there was an attack on classroom assistants who are sometimes one-to-one, and there was an attack on the facilities and finance that was made available for special needs children. And any moves in that direction, we must oppose them. And I'm sorry to jump ahead, Chairman, but I thought I'd do it while it was up. And thank you for. I must just say the other thing that I want to say is that I'm a member of the 77 Club, that Desi and Sean Garden and myself are all born in 1934. And a while back I took a decision which was very difficult for me when I said I wouldn't stand for elections again, because I thought that we needed youth. And I'm delighted to see the young people here, and include John.
The question is, I think, and it relates to the point I was making about media policies, we need to provide, as the Workers' Party, we need the Workers' Party to provide a viable alternative, not just to critique the existing situation, but to provide an alternative that's credible to people when they ask, well, what are you going to replace this with? Because down south we have a situation where the Labour Party, in one of its more social democratic moments, has decided that it's going to secularise part of the primary education system. It's going to take over ownership of, I think it's 40%. The state is going to finally acquire ownership of about 40% of the primary schools, the first level schools. What's that going to be replaced with? It's fine to take the church out, but what's going to step in its place is a corporatism that's being driven by lobby groups and policy groups that are dominated by business. So instead of the priest coming in to talk to my kids, I'm going to have the CEO of Intel coming in to talk to my kids. Brilliant, isn't that progress? I don't think it is, right? I think the party here needs to provide an alternative there. I'll critique something, a point that was made there about training or education as a route out of poverty and education as a precursor to employment. I disagree strongly with that. Education has to be a holistic thing. I hate that word holistic, but it has a function. It has to be about educating citizens for society, not about generating robots for industry. This is a good start that we got today, but I think we need the next step on top of that, which says this is the alternative to what we're critiquing now. Thank you.
Whether it's North or South, whether it's England or Portugal, that what's happening in education is a result of political decisions. You know, like Tom, other people have mentioned, if you attack on special needs provision, special needs assistants, you know, teachers, etc. In the South, you know, special needs provision and assistance for children with learning difficulties, children who do not have English as a first language, services for all that tranche of people have essentially been abolished. In, you know, not in, haven't officially, just in reality, have been really, really seriously attacked to the point of breaking point.
Speaking of corporate education, I remember reading in America all the snack machines in a particular school were sponsored by Pepsi Cola, and they had a day where Pepsi Cola people came and they were all wearing Pepsi Cola t-shirts, and a boy took off his Pepsi Cola t-shirt and it was a Coca-Cola t-shirt, and he was suspended or expelled actually from school. That's the kind of crap that you get with corporate education, and I agree with what Alan said, that the replacement of religious education with corporate education is not what we would perceive as being progressive or anybody with common sense. Regarding education for jobs, education for jobs is another aspect of corporate control. Everybody needs a job, but we need to think about jobs that are actually in line with sustainability and not necessarily dependent on education. Shouldn't be seen as a narrow road to jobs. And in Northern Ireland, I have a son at an integrated school. It's a lovely school, but I was surprised to find that it wasn't a secular school. There's a Christian ethos in the school, and I think that we should be going beyond the Christian ethos. As a Workers' Party, we should be fighting for secular education here in Northern Ireland, not just Christian ethos. Thank you.
Party to introduce the discussion paper on the economy. I'd like to call upon Chris Bailey.